Confidence is more than just a feeling. It's the force that drives success, happiness, and fulfillment in life. And as someone who has worked in the medical field, I have seen firsthand how powerful confidence can be, not just for myself, but in helping others overcome significant physical, mental, and emotional adversity. So in today's video, I'll be sharing 3 powerful promises that you should always keep to yourself in order to continue growing your confidence and reap all the benefits that come from it. Now, before we get into the 3 promises, I think it's important to discuss why a lot of us don't feel as confident as we should. I believe a lot of this stems from us just living in the digital era where there's a lot of things just being shoved in our faces. Take social media as an example. A lot of us are exposed to just, the lives of our friends or celebrities who are living these really luxurious lifestyles, traveling to all these amazing places, have really healthy bodies, and we can't help but compare ourselves. It's just human psychology. We can't help but compare ourselves with other people doing better than us. And on top of that, add on how a lot of companies market their products to you. They're kind of setting this unrealistic expectation of what it means to lead a successful life, to lead a happy life, and this really makes us feel that we're not doing as well as we are in the game of life. And here's the kicker: because we like to compare ourselves to others, it is really in our psychology, in human nature, to always judge other people. We're constantly trying to find the negative connotation, the negative things that's going on in someone else, so that way we feel better about ourselves. But the reason that you don't feel confident isn't because you're comparing yourself to other people. It's because you tend to judge yourself and you're comparing yourself to your ideal self. So the big question is this: are you living life the way your ideal self would live your life? And this is why the 3 promises that I'll be sharing is so important in order for you to live a confident and successful life. The first promise is to always promise to be honest with yourself. Now, I work in the healthcare industry as a rehabilitation therapist, and I work with a lot of patients whose self-confidence has taken a huge hit. Now, there are a lot of reasons for this, but most often it's because these patients, they live really independent lives, they've been really strong, and suddenly they end up going through some surgery or some injury, and now they're really weak, they really need a lot of help, and it's really difficult for them to go through this period of time. And often what I find is that a lot of these patients, they don't really like to ask for help, they don't like to admit that they need help.
Stop it. Get some help.
And what ends up happening is that these patients are very unreceptive to receiving help, and it kind of prolongs the amount of time they need to recover, or even worse, put them at risk of re-injuring themselves. And often what I need to do is I often need to sit these patients down and tell them like, hey, you need to be honest with yourself right now. You're not at your best, you need help, and you need to kind of listen to direction, listen to advice in order to get you back to where you were before. And I think the big problem here is that all of us have some sort of ego. We feel the need to be right. We feel the need to always feel that we're in control of our lives. But if you live life long enough, you would know that life often doesn't work your way. Things go wrong all the time. Ironically, only by admitting that you're not good at stuff, admitting that you don't know anything, will you actually be more confident in the game. Because the reality is, in order to get good at anything in life, you first have to admit that you're lacking in a particular area. You need to be very aware of your limitations. You need to be aware of what exactly do you need to better your own life. I think a lot of us feel that in order to be confident, we have to put up this front that we know everything, that we're the best at everything. That's not really true, because by admitting your shortcomings, you come off as a little more authentic. You know what you need to improve in life. Ironically, this makes you more confident in the game of life because you know where the reality stands, you know what you actually need to do. Where else, if you're constantly just putting on the fronts, not really admitting you're doing anything wrong, not really admitting that you need help, then all you're doing is you're just fooling yourself. Because yes, you might appear confident, but in here, you're just a complete mess, right? You're worrying about stuff, you know things aren't going right, but you're constantly just trying to fake it. Just understand that the first step to really being confident is by being honest with yourself, asking yourself truly what exactly is it that you want. And to give you a practical example, say you're not confident with how you look right now, just your general health and just how the aesthetics of your body is. So you essentially have 2 paths right now. The first path is you could kind of just ignore everything, just continue living on with your life and just tell yourself like, hey, I'm a confident person, I'm not really going to think about whether I look good or not. I'm going to be confident with who I am right now despite how I look. That's the first path right there. That's the path where you're just fooling yourself and just telling yourself to be confident and to believe that. And the second path is to admit like, hey, okay, I'm not really at my best looking, I'm not as healthy as I want to be, but I know that's a problem, so I'm going to figure out how to fix it. Path number 2 is a lot harder to do, but it's going to build a lot more genuine confidence because you admit your shortcomings and you're coming up with a solution. Whereas the first one, you're simply fooling yourself and all you're doing is you're trying to force yourself to believe that nothing is going wrong and you're not going to change anything. So definitely being honest with yourself, the very first promise you should always keep in order to live a more confident life. Now, if you're enjoying the content up to this point, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. I cannot tell you how much it helps me in growing this channel out. If you enjoy and want to hear more of this kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe as well. I'm an occupational therapist and I'm really trying to experiment sharing more of my day-to-day life and the lessons that I'm learning to kind of better myself as I'm going through the game of life. Promise number 2 is the promise to always believe in yourself. Now, this is an especially powerful one because human beings have the terrible habit of constantly doubting themselves.
Oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that?
And this is especially true if you're going with promise number 1, where you're being honest with yourself, always admitting your limitations and weaknesses. It's very easy to fall into the trap of wondering whether you can achieve anything, whether you're able to actually get better. I've seen firsthand how powerful this is because I work with patients that often they've hit rock bottom. They're so weak or in so much pain that they can't even get out of bed to get dressed themselves, to go to the restroom themselves, and they need all this help and they feel like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get better. And I believe as a clinician, it is so important for me to instill that confidence in them, to let them know like, hey, guess what? I know things suck right now, but with time, with practice, with me, working together with what we're going to be doing, that you can actually achieve things, you can get better, and you would be able to regain the independence that you so much, sought after. And let me tell you, this is an absolute day and night change. When I start to instill confidence in helping people believe in themselves, instantly everything gets better. They start trying a little bit more, they start to have a little more positive mindset in like, all right, I'm making progress. And this kind of, it helps build momentum towards them achieving the goals that they want to build. So when it comes to us as individuals, believing ourselves is so important because honestly, we need to be our best cheerleaders. And the reason for this is because everyone is so focused on themselves, right? A lot of us feel like a lot of people are paying attention to us, but the reality is no one is paying attention to you. The only person who truly cares about you, who truly cares about you, is yourself. That means you need to be your own best cheerleader, right? You need to believe that you can achieve what you want to believe. And a concept we really need to discuss is a growth and a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is one where you believe that you can constantly improve, you can constantly get better, whereas a fixed mindset is one where you believe that this is where you are, that you're going to be stuck here for a set amount of time. A lot of people think they're in the growth mindset category, but the majority of the world, they're in the fixed mindset. You don't truly believe you can be better. And I've seen this a lot in individuals, where they kind of accepted their fate already. They accepted like, oh, I'm never really going to make enough. I'm constantly going to be in debt. I'm never going to be healthy enough. I'm never going to actually get a partner that's going to love me back as much as I love them. All these different things, right? And this is because people have a fixed mindset. They don't feel like they can actually change and make the situation better. But the reality is you can always get better. You just have to put in the work to actually do that. And believing in yourself is so important because we live in a world where there's so much emphasis on external validation. We feel the need to always feel like we're doing good. We feel the need that we want people to tell us that we're doing well. Nobody's actually going to do that. The only person that's actually going to tell us that we're doing well on a constant basis is ourselves. And that's if we train ourselves to do that. Promise yourself that you'll always believe in yourself no matter what the situation is, no matter what the doubt is, how difficult things are. You have to believe in yourself because that is the only way you can actually get better. But of course, believing in yourself is not enough to achieve anything, not without promise number 3, which is going to be the promise to always do the hard things. So yes, the third promise is probably the most difficult one because you have to make the promise to understand that life is going to be difficult and the only way you can get better and the only way that you can get more confident in life is by doing the hard things in life. Ironically, if you want to get better, you have to do the hard things, but human nature, we just have that bad habit of constantly looking for the easy way out. And again, going back to my medical experience, all these patients that I work with, I make it very clear to them like, hey, this journey here is probably gonna suck. Like, you're not gonna like what we have to do. You're probably going to be in pain. I'm probably going to, make you really tired working with me, but we have to do it. We have to do the hard things in order to get you to where you want to be. Guess what happens when someone actually broke their leg and they don't really want to get out of bed, but I force them to do it because it is the hard thing and the right thing for them. They gain confidence. They start to feel like, oh yes, this is hard, but I'm doing it. I'm pushing myself through it. And this builds immense confidence. When you do the hard things in life, it is an absolute hack in building your self-confidence. I mean, just just think about it, all the good things in life, like getting a really healthy body, you have to go to the gym. That's going to be really difficult. You're going to have to lift a lot of weights, run a lot, do all these different exercises. But by doing that, you are overcoming the difficulties. You're building your self-confidence because you know that you can overcome any obstacle that comes your way. There really is no shortcut in life. Growth comes from putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Only by doing things that you don't want to do can you actually get what you want in life. And it doesn't just have to be you just constantly struggling to overcome challenges. It can make the process a lot more fun as well. I mean, just think about video games, right? A video game is only really fun when it accurately challenges you. When a game is too easy, it kind of sucks. I mean, it's really boring. Imagine you're a level 10 character and you're playing a level 1 stage. It's going to be so easy, you're not even really going to enjoy the process. But if you're playing, a level 10 character and you're trying to go for level 11, now that gets a little more fun because you actually have to pay attention, you have to level up, you have to do the difficult things, challenge yourself. And when you actually achieve that, you'll feel so much better, so much more confident. And on top of that, you also gain the rewards from overcoming that obstacle. Overcoming challenges is a huge part of life, and to overcome challenges, you have to promise to always do the hard things. That's how you build self-confidence. That's how you achieve the things you want in life and eventually, become the successful person that you want to be. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope those 3 promises can help you live a more fulfilling, confident, and successful life. And if you want to check out more videos just like this, go ahead and check out this video over here where I go over how to stop procrastination by understanding the 5 phases of it. So again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go ahead and like the video if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more content just like this. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Peace.